Hi, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in New York. The American president had really important things that he could have drawn the attention of the national press to today. The Florida Panhandle was demolished by Hurricane Michael. People died. Hundreds of thousands are still without power. And in a normal White House, the fact that one of the president's closest allies on the world stage, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, known as MBS, reportedly ordered an operation to lure Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi back to Saudi Arabia with the goal of detaining him would be big news, especially since he hasn't been seen since the Saudi consulate in Turkey and is believed to be dead. In a normal White House, a president would want to know if his presidential daily brief, or PDB, included the signal intelligence that's been reported by the Washington Post that suggests that U.S. intelligence officials knew about the Saudi leader's desire to detain the Washington Post columnist. And if the president didn't know, how high up did the intel go? Did the DNI know? The director of the CIA? In a normal White House, aides would still feel that the image of Donald Trump flicking paper towels at the victims of Hurricane Maria would require that he visit the D.C. headquarters of FEMA on a day like today to show him as attentive and in touch with the pain and suffering of the people of Florida. And in a normal White House, the Leg Affairs staff would have Republican Senator Bob Corker and Democratic Senator Bob Menendez down to the White House to discuss their concerns about Saudi Arabia, especially their calls for sanctions for one of the president's closest allies. In a normal White House, the president's national security team might just want to start a list of all of Jared Kushner's contacts with the young crown prince of Saudi Arabia, out of concern that the optics alone of the two hubristic young men huddled closely, literally and figuratively, might be damaging if we eventually come to learn that the Turkish reports of 15 Saudis flying to Turkey and entering the consulate there to kill and dismember the Washington Post columnist are true, and that the administration knew that the Saudi leader intended to detain Khashoggi. In a normal White House, that would all count as a full-blown national security crisis. But this isn't a normal White House, not even close. So today, in front of a full press pool with an extended question and answer period, the President of the United States turned the Oval Office over to Kanye West, who sat across from him at the Resolute desk. Watch.